Yeah, like the whole world doesn't need to hear it.
Yeah.
They'll hear it on Sunday when it goes up.
What the hell's the matter with you? Your soda's right over there.
I can't reach it. This week on Positively Godless.
We have special guest Gavin. And we talk about...
Finish it. If you're going to sing this week on Positively Godless, you got to finish it.
Oh my goodness. This week on
Dad is
Positively Godless.
being like super annoying. And
I'm not even on the show.
You are right now.
yeah, you are right now.
Which is
so.
unfortunate.
I'm barely on the show at all.
Yeah, you did. And that's what makes it annoying.
I barely was on the show.
That's what makes it annoying.
Finish the intro. Let Jerry finish the show.
Oh.
Go ahead. Do it.
This week on Positively Godless. It's a little
We have a two-time
insufferable.
returning guest.
We have Gavin. It's not insufferable because Gavin's on. It's insufferable because, well, we all know Scott.
He's on.
And we talk about a lot of stuff. We had a topic, and then we stopped, and then we talked about something else.
Mm-hmm. So just a typical episode.
Perfect.
Crazy! Over, under, feeling crazy! It was no wonder, you're just making me crazy!
All right, so should we start over or just go with it?
No, we're just continue on.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Again, for the third time, guys, welcome. You know our names by now, and if not, they're on the bottom of the screen underneath of each of us. Thanks
Exactly.
Well,
to
if
wonderful
not, you should have saw the title.
Look at Gavin being all smart.
Right?
So we're doing things a little bit differently this week. We might not have a topic. We do have a topic, but it's not mine or Tyler's or even Scott's. It's Gavin's topic tonight because he had something that he wanted to talk about, and we're going to let him go. So go ahead, Gavin.
So, this week I'm Positively Godless.
No. We do that at the end.
I knew what you meant, but well, what I want to talk about is like religion in non-religion schools, and what I mean by that is like teachers talking about the Bible in public schools. So.
Okay. So what do you have to say about that? What is your thought? What made you want to talk about that tonight?
Yeah, do you have
one of my
anything
teachers,
specific? Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna give any names, but
That's fine.
so one of my teacher's dad's here.
Are we not doing the recap yet? Or when?
The two of you together doing this.
Will you just give him the headset for 1 second?
Yeah.
Why are you ruining this?
I just want to know.
Go away.
Are we going to do the recap?
Go
Yes,
away.
we are.
We will let
Will we
you
do the
know.
recap?
Go.
Okay.
Just
I just want to make sure we do
Go.
the recap.
We will.
Okay. Sorry, yeah.
He's gone.
Did he let the cat back in?
Okay.
What'd you say?
He's gone. Talk bad things about him.
No, we don't want to talk bad things about him.
no.
Kidding.
All people have to do is watch, and they're gonna know all the bad things that we want to say about him.
Okay, so back to you, Gavin.
Are
So
you
you
gonna
said
cut that
there's
out? No.
Yeah, just go ahead and start over with your
story.
backstory, the why you want to talk about the topic.
So the reason I want to talk about this is because a teacher of mine in school one day, this was kind of towards the beginning of the year, and why I still remember this, I don't know. But one day he was like saying, in the Bible you should do something I can't really remember, but it was something different. Like I don't know exactly what it was, but it's like in the Bible it says you should be nice to everybody because somebody got in like some sort of argument at lunch, I think.
So somebody at school got in an argument at lunch, and then the teacher quoted something from the Bible as an
He didn't
example
quote
of.
something. He said, you should be nice to people as it says in the Bible or something along that line.
Oh, okay. And so how did that make you feel?
I was like, it's possible for not everybody to believe in God. I was like, you can't be serious. I mean,
Did
really.
you think that to yourself, or did you say that to him?
Why would I don't want to get detention, so I just thought of it.
No, but that
Well,
brings
okay,
up
that's a good reason.
But it brings up a valid point, though,
Right.
that
Because
if somebody were if some teacher were preaching some sort of, well, not even preaching, I use that term loosely because it sounds like he wasn't really preaching to you guys as much as, I mean, he could have said, well, as Shakespeare said in his one book, blah 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 blah, stab your mother, whatever. Like, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, Shakespeare.
I've never
wrote
read
some,
Hamlet.
well, you will. Trust me, you will.
You will, and
You
yeah,
have
there
plenty
are
of time.
plenty of messed up things that Shakespeare did, but I mean, it could have been along the lines from what I'm getting at is that there could have been, some sort of satanic reference or some sort of, reference
That's
from
coming.
Islam or, anything along those lines. And had a kid then stepped up and said something, and especially if there was any sort of repercussion for it, then all of a sudden the Christian groups would be all over it, and he would have been heralded as a hero for standing up for his beliefs, and the teacher would have been ostracized and probably either suspended or fired or something like that. But if they bring up a Christian reference, that just seems to be okay in society in general.
Exactly.
I mean, I just an observation I'm throwing out there.
Well, let me ask you this, Gavin. Do you know the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which I stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
With liberty and justice for all, yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Okay. So
I haven't done it in forever. So.
okay, so you don't say the Pledge of Allegiance before school starts every day,
Not anymore. I used to in elementary school.
but now you don't. So I remember when we used to have the Pledge of Allegiance every day, without fail. You had the Pledge of Allegiance before, like, the first thing in the morning, before anything started.
Mm-hmm.
If you had an assembly, Pledge of Allegiance was said at the assembly.
Mm-hmm.
So
All the way through high school?
no, because the law started
stopped
to
this year.
change. What?
I stopped this year. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh yeah, the laws started to change probably like right when I started getting into high school, because I don't remember doing it in high school, but I think I remember doing it up to like 8th grade. I remember all the way up until about 5th grade, we used to have, well, it was, I think, if I remember correctly, it was morning prayer, and then it became a moment of silence. So we would have the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we would have a moment of silence. Probably about 45 seconds to a minute where everybody's gets to think about whatever they want. If you were religious, you could pray. If you weren't religious, well, whatever it was that you wanted to think about, and they stopped doing that in school. And I think I was kind of upset about that when it happened, because I was like, why aren't we saying the Pledge of Allegiance? It was just something to me that was so ingrained that I felt was necessary. And then the moment of silence, I didn't care at the time. I didn't care what it was called, whether it was a silent prayer or a moment of silence or bite your butt. I didn't really care what it was called. But no, Gavin, you're right. Teachers, I don't think in a public school at all should be talking about the Bible and or quoting the Bible. Because the public school is funded by the state and or the local government. And is it an amendment, Tyler? Because I'm not really good at like history and stuff like that. The
Freedom of
separation
speech.
of church and state.
I think that's an amendment.
But I know
believe
that.
so.
I know that it's a thing. Separation of church and state. Like, the state isn't supposed to be interfering in what the church does, and vice versa. The church isn't supposed to be interfering in what the state does. They are supposed to be two separate entities. Because back in the 1700s, when people left Britain and came here to settle, that's what they were fighting for. They were fighting for their religious freedom. I don't think to push religion on everybody else. I think that they were fighting for the ability to worship as they pleased. Now, back then, that's what they believed in. That's what everybody believed in. So, yes, it did trickle into, like, the church did trickle into school and a little bit into government and stuff like that. So, because it was such a huge part of everybody's life, because there wasn't anything else. There was no television or video games or cell phones or anything like that, and
How
there was
did you
no
live?
we got here, so they lived somehow. But yeah, the country was founded on, I don't want to say Christian principles, but I think a lot of the things like, it just comes from like that influence of a little bit of the Bible, how to act, morals and ethics and all of that. It comes from that, because I think that morality, and we talked about this on the episode where we talked about morality, it's such a systemic kind of inherent thing that's in us. We already know, it's built into our DNA to know what's good and what's bad. You guys totally just missed what I said.
I didn't.
Okay. So, no, you're right. They shouldn't be talking about it in school. Has that teacher said anything else like that throughout the year, or not that you can
For
remember?
all I
Not
know,
that
he might have
stands out.
quoted something, but I don't remember.
Not that stands out.
Mm-mm.
And I know you said on the last time you were on that there are kids in your school, a lot of kids in your school, right, that are religious, that believe in God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're friends with them, a lot of them, some of them, and is not a topic of conversation that you have with them. They don't talk about that stuff to you. And you're in 7th grade, going to be in 8th grade?
6th going on 7th.
6th going in 7th. Okay. I mean, there's still a lot of things that are going to happen. I think you're very smart for being 12 years old. There's things as you get further and further into school and stuff like that. Those topics might come up. How would you? What is that? Is that him again?
I'm coming down just to watch. Don't lose the groove. Act like I'm not there. Just wait until he starts playing the piano again.
I hope he doesn't. I will be mad.
Well, in any case, to go back real quick to the conversation about the separation of
Okay,
church and
yeah.
state and all of that kind of stuff.
I don't want to be wrong because I mean, first of all, it's on video, and I don't want to be wrong.
Well, once again, as most people should already know if you've watched more than one episode, is that we are not and do not claim to be experts on these topics. So we may throw stuff out there that is slightly inaccurate or what we believe to remember, and just keep in mind we are not experts on these topics. And even this, I had to remember exactly where it was when you asked the question, Jerry. And so I pulled up some information here. And the metaphor of the term of separation of church and state actually appears nowhere in the Constitution. The metaphor of that wall of separation came in a letter from President Thomas Jefferson that he wrote to a group of Baptists in Danbury, Connecticut, a dozen years after the Constitution and the Bill of Rights were ratified. So it came out of Jefferson's words and from that. But what the Constitution's First Amendment does say is that government shall make no law, quote, respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, end quote.
Also known as freedom of speech.
No. That's also a part of the First Amendment, but the part that pertains to religion is in there. So basically, like what you were saying, Jerry, where when they came over from England and the monarchy had established what the religion was, and that was the official religion. The whole purpose of that phrasing initially was that the government wouldn't sanction any specific religion because of the tyranny that they viewed from the monarchy and the fact that they were told you practice this religion and that is it. So it doesn't prevent the practice of any religion, but it also means that the government can't sanction anything.
Like name an official religion for the country.
Right. Exactly.
Or use laws or make laws based on religious beliefs.
Well, and that's how it's been interpreted over time with rulings from the Supreme Court and all of that kind of stuff. But, I mean, how many of our laws are based off of what we would think of and classify as traditional Christian culture? A lot of it, and a lot of it is based right. So,
on...
I mean, you can't have, where no laws can be based on that, because thou shalt not murder. Well, there's laws everywhere that clearly state you can't murder somebody and get away with it. And is that based on a religious law? Well, I mean, I'm sure that's probably been a rule or a custom or a taboo or whatever you want to call it, going all the way back to the beginning of civilization. People just know you don't kill each other. But did it evolve out of religion? Well, you can't really say. It's where did that come from?
Well, here's the thing. If you want to think about it that way, I'm sure that somewhere along the way, people decided it wasn't right to kill each other. And that probably happened before the Bible was written and before religion came along.
Makes sense.
Before the Bible was written, I'll totally agree with. I mean, religion, in one form or another, has been around for a very, very long... I mean, religion in one form of another, a set of beliefs explaining the supernatural,
Okay.
has
so
been around probably since the caveman tried to explain why the big fiery ball is up in the sky for part of the day and why the monsters try to eat us at night. Like cavemen. They were running
Oh,
from
yeah.
like
Tiger.
dinosaurs and stuff. Because according to
Scientists
Christians,
are gonna kill us.
according to some Christians, we lived with dinosaurs. So
Oh.
I mean, yeah, that which is completely.
What? Wait,
You-
what?
And according to some, dinosaurs
You didn't
don't
know
even
that?
exist.
You didn't know that, Jerry?
I did not know that.
I didn't
Oh
either.
man.
Think that.
All I knew was they didn't think dinosaurs existed.
So where do we get all the bones that are in the museums
Oh,
that I'm sure they all go to see?
The Jews planted them there.
Okay.
That is also, there are people out there that believe that too.
They think that they've unearthed bones planted by the Jews 65 million years ago.
Yep.
Oh wow.
And I'm crazy.
Yep. Yep. Sure do.
Gavin, what do you think about that?
The unearthing bone thing.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean,
I could think of some really mean things to say, but okay.
so I mean we talked about this the last time you were on too. Like you definitely you don't believe in God or anything like that at all.
Mm-mm.
So how do you believe that people got here?
Evolution
From okay,
from apes.
from apes. Okay. How do you think apes got here?
How apes got here?
Yeah.
The Big Bang, or eventually, well, they evolved from the Big Bang, but so I don't know the exact timeline.
Okay. So you're of the school of thought where the earth was here and in the water the single cell organism just started evolving and that's how everything was created.
Well, I believe that the Big Bang created everything, not just that the Earth was just here.
Okay. So the Big Bang happened and then all of a sudden the earth was here and it was populated with animals and fish and plants.
No, I
or-
like the fish idea. I think is the single-celled organism that evolved. I think that that Big Bang created that, which sparked the evolution of the organism to grow over millions of years to evolve into what we know now as today humans.
Okay. Tyler, are you with us?
I am.
Okay.
I'm letting you go because it's a little off the topic that he had started with. But I have something to take us even further off topic.
It's kind of what we do. We start on one topic and
Yeah.
get on to another topic.
I want to go back to dinosaurs living with men.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect.
Since the first discovery of dinosaurs, Christians have had to rationalize how the giant lizards fit into the Bible and when they existed. While there have been extensive arguments over the issue by religious and secular groups, strict creationists, and this was the group of Christians that I was thinking of, Jerry. It's the strict creationists have begun to
Okay.
make a strong push towards trying to prove the legitimacy of the cohabitation of dinosaurs with mankind. According to them, there is no question that God created the two on the same day just a few thousand years ago. Quote, almost every culture has has stories about dragons. Quote, end quote, explained Ken Ham, which I'm pretty sure Scott is familiar with Ken Ham, and we can ask him about that later. But he is the founder of the $27 million Creation Museum, which supports a literal interpretation of the Bible. Again, quote, "We believe this is because people and dinosaurs inhabited the earth at the same time, and what we would call a dinosaur, the ancients referred to as dragons." End quote. I will go ahead and include this entire article in the show notes for anybody that wants to pull it up and read through this, because there's a lot more, and he goes into talking about how the word dinosaur is not found anywhere in the Bible, and that's because the word dinosaur wasn't invented until the mid-1800s, so when the King James Bible was translated, there wasn't a word for it. So all of this stuff. But I wanted to go back to that real quick, because I knew I wasn't crazy, and I knew I had heard about some sect of Christianity
I'm
believing
sure.
this. And no, so it was in no way to try and prove anybody wrong or anything. I just wanted to share it because I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew there was something that I had been reading about it and just went, like, are you kidding me?
Oh, but are there human bones that date back as far as dinosaur bones?
Well, no, that's because their other argument
Exactly.
is that the carbon dating with dinosaur bones is flawed. And there's no way that anything is really more than 10,000 years old because the Earth is only 6,000 years old. So it's a whole thing. I don't want to completely. We've already derailed enough. But
Oh,
like I
yeah.
said, I will put the article into show notes, and anybody can take a gander at that. But it is. And again, here's my thing. And Gavin, you haven't. I watched since like episode 5, but I think in one of the early episodes I brought up the fact that I don't, if you want to believe that the sun still revolves around the earth, okay. If you want to believe that dinosaurs and man roamed the earth at the same time 6,000 years ago, okay. But when you start pushing those beliefs on me, and everything you say is right and everything that I say is wrong, and that conflict starts to happen, that's when we have a problem. I don't care if you still believe in the ancient Nordic gods and you think that Zeus is up in the sky and, throwing lightning bolts down. Whatever, that's fine. You can believe that. You're free. You are a human being that is free to make your own choices. Just don't tell me that what my beliefs are wrong. So I don't want that to come across like, I mean, do I think that these people that believe that man and dinosaurs walked there at the same time might be a little cuckoo? Yeah. Yeah, I do think that they might be, but they're free to believe that. That's fine. That's their choice. So, in that respect, to kind of bring the topic back in terms of your teacher and bringing this, story of the Bible up in class and all that kind of stuff, I get it. I mean, you want to try and share a story that is relatable. And again, that's all I really view the Bible as anyway, as a story. And so I wanted to ask both of you, because you guys were both going back and forth about this, but in terms of sharing that tidbit of information in class, because it doesn't really sound to me like he was preaching. It doesn't sound like he was going through a Bible lesson or like telling you to pull out your Bibles or go home and read it tonight or something like that. It sounds like, it was just more of a casual kind of in passing type of thing. But for both of you, because Jerry, you said that you had a problem with it as well, but was it a problem simply because it was based in religion? And what I mean by that is, if he had tried to share some other story, like about a Shakespeare story, or a moral to be learned from Hamlet, or something like that, would you have been as offended?
Because
So-
I don't like that I just assumed that everybody in the class is Christian.
But what if he assumed everybody in the class had read Shakespeare and used a Shakespeare quote?
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to say that he was in the right by what he did, but I'm just trying to kind of play devil's advocate here and say, you know, there could have been way worse things, and I don't really feel comfortable with him having done that either. But I think that because I wouldn't have had a problem with him referencing another story, or, you know, I mean, what if he had shared a story from Greek mythology? You know, like, would that be offensive in the same way as it would be sharing a Christian ideology from the Bible?
For me, not much.
But why not?
Because
Because that's religion.
it is, but it just seems more out there than the other ones. I, I mean, somebody can strike lightning down just doesn't seem as realistic, but I
Somebody
mean,
making the heavens rain for 40 days and 40 nights and flooding and killing the entire population of this earth that he created seems more plausible?
no,
Yeah.
I never said that seems plausible at all.
Sure.
But still, and Dad
No,
is
and-
really anxious to go on a rant.
And Gavin, there isn't any right or wrong answer here. So I don't want you to feel like I'm asking
like,
you a question
yeah.
that there's a right or wrong answer. I'm just trying to kind of spark the discussion a little bit further because, you know, I think one of the things and one of the reasons that the atheist community gets so badmouthed all the time, a part of that is like the Christian right and the fanatical side of Christianity, there is a fanatical side of atheism that will tend to snap too quickly when something happens, and it's what gives the rest of us more reasonably thinking moderate people a bad rap. And so, again, and I'm not saying that your teacher does that and then you get up in class and go, you can't do that, blah, blah. I mean, like, that would have been like snapping to, you know, I'm calling my local atheist chapter, we're going to have them in here right away and you're going to lose your job. I mean, like, that would have been going overboard,
Yeah,
obviously.
way overboard.
But,
I didn't even say anything.
right, no, and that's my point. But, you know, when, you know, somebody else that's not you that feels even more strongly about it is in that class and that teacher brings up that reference to the Bible and they snap off like that and create this big hubbub. I mean, Jerry, it goes back to the week we did the story about that teacher and the Freedom from Religion Foundation.
That was what, week 2?
I don't remember. But when we talked about the Freedom from Religion Foundation just going bonkers over this memorial for a dead teacher, and it's like, just
Well,
let it go. Yeah, and Gavin, I'm not saying that you. Yeah. Gavin, I'm not saying that that's what you should do, and that's the right course of action. Because again, there's no, it's a discussion right now. But I was just trying to throw that kind of that devil's advocate in there.
I think what Gavin's learning is learning how to pick his battles. Like, not everything needs to be something. Sometimes something is just innocuous and just doesn't need to be addressed. But I'm sure if the teacher was like pulling the Bible out and reading scripture to the class, he would have said something either to the principal or his dad or his mom and said, like, hey, this is what's going on. I wanted to touch on what you said, Tyler, about if he had quoted something about, like, Shakespeare, would that be as offensive? To me, it wouldn't be. Because we have proof that there was a man who lived named William Shakespeare who wrote all that stuff.
But do we, though?
Oh, we have paintings and pictures
I'm
of
sure there's probably William Shakespeare denyists out there that don't want to admit that he actually
somebody
existed.
wrote all of this stuff, and this is where
I agree, but somebody wrote all that
I
stuff
don't
in the
want to say
Bible.
theism, thespianism
Yes, thespian. Yeah.
started. Thespianism. That's such a. Did I just make that word up?
No, I'm sure thespianism is probably.
Search it up.
Gavin, we said thespian, not lesbian.
I
It's
know.
different. Okay, all right.
But I mean,
I just didn't want your 12-year-old mind to go to lesbian. What would your father think?
We know what he would think.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh.
He probably talks
I'm-
about it all the time. Sorry, Jerry.
Oh, there is a thespianism.
There we go.
The art or profession of acting. Because a thespian is the actor.
Correct.
Okay. So, again, I always seem to derail the darn topic. We do have, I would think, more proof of William Shakespeare than we have of a god. Or gods, because Greek mythology, though I love the stories of Greek mythology, I can relate to those stories better than what's in the Bible. Because those gods in mythology, what we call mythology now, are not gods that are punishing people and trying to control them. If I remember correctly.
No, there's a lot of controlling and punishment in Greek mythology.
Because I thought the way I understand mythology and that is there was Zeus who was in like the god of lightning, and there was Poseidon, the god of the sea, and like for everything that happened, a wave came, and that was Poseidon making the wave. Lightning came, and that was Zeus throwing it down. There was, all of that
Hades
stuff.
was the god of the underworld. I mean, he was
Right.
basically the equivalent to Satan.
Oh, I know this is getting like really off topic when I'm saying this, but I was thinking they say God is all knowing, right? So wouldn't he know like he was gonna create the devil when he did create him?
Oh boy.
I hope that doesn't come off offensive, but
No, that comes off fantastic. Is what that. This is a whole nother topic. Oh man, predestination versus free will. That's a whole bag of hurt right there.
So, Gavin, what you're saying is God knew, or he should have known, that he was going to create the devil.
because if he's all knowing, he should know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Of
So
course.
he should know he was gonna create the devil.
Yep. And therefore he knew that he was going to create two human beings in a garden, and that the devil would be there, and that the devil would tempt them, and that they would take the temptation, and then he got mad and vengeful anyway, and he still punished them and kicked them out of the garden, even though he knew all of that was going to happen,
And so why would he do it?
because he's all-knowing and he's all-powerful. But yet, God wanted us to all live within his image and not experience pain and suffering. But yet, he should have known about all of this.
But was it?
That doesn't seem fishy at all.
I mean, unless God really didn't know what Satan was doing, and then, wait, that would mean that God's not all-knowing and God's not all-powerful, because if he was all-powerful, he would have been able to stop Satan before it even started. It's so much hypocrisy. It's just so
Stupocracy?
So much
Stupocracy.
stupocracy, and it's so many inconvenient little, just, oh man.
But my question is, can't show the label on camera. My question is, wasn't didn't the devil isn't the devil technically a fallen angel? Like, wasn't the devil an angel in heaven, and then
Lucifer
he
was
did something
technically,
to
yes.
make God mad, and God said, bye bye, and threw him out of heaven and put him in hell.
Right, which again, when did the angels come into play? Remember a couple weeks ago we read through the creation story?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you remember in those 6 days of the creation of the angels in
No.
there?
No.
Where
There was
where
no.
Oh,
where were the angels? Where did they come from? How did they magically just get there? And at what point, how long was Lucifer an angel before he did whatever was bad that God couldn't see was coming, even though he's all knowing and all powerful, before he got kicked out and then create, because evidently he's as powerful as God is to be able to create his own separation of space called hell, and then take all the souls and bring them down into hell with him, and blah ha ha, lake of fire and oh man.
do you want me to
Got it.
look up when he like turned it evil or something, or what he
No,
did?
Well, you do that, but do that do that like afterwards,
Oh
and
yeah,
then we'll
you can
talk
put it.
about it another time.
Yeah. You'll-
That
What
could be
is
another
that?
topic for another show. Is he still
yeah,
there?
I'm trying
I'm
not to
right
lose it
here.
now at this point.
Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Yeah, your dad is just making so much noise that it's very distracting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Gavin, is there anything else that you wanted to say about this topic about
Um.
religion in public school?
Um. Well, really, not much. I was just that was just gonna be a starting topic to see where we would get sidetracked off to.
Good job. Because we
Perfect.
did. We
I know
talked
you
about a
too.
lot of things. I love when that. I love when that happens. So I like when we start on one and then go to another and then come back and
Mhm.
all that stuff. Tyler, I had a question for you. Now
Mm-hmm.
that you have Ethan is 7,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other one is only what, a year old,
Year and a half.
a
Yep.
year and a half. So you have, but now that your oldest son is school age,
Yep.
you're going to send him to public school.
He's already going. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I know you're not going to send him to Catholic school or religion school. Now, I'm sure there are private schools that are not necessarily religion-based schools, but for the most part, kids go to public school. How would you handle if he came home and said that one of his teachers was talking about God or said something about religion in school?
I would probably handle it in. I mean, I guess this. It goes back to what we were talking about before, where it's contextual. I guess where. I guess I would try to find out more information from him as to whether or not. Well, first of all, is it an ongoing thing? Is this the first time that it's ever happened, or is this something that gets talked about every single day?
Right.
Is it an actual lesson in the curriculum, or is it just an offhand remark? Was the teacher just telling a story? Because I think that a lot of it, we draw from our background and from our history and what we know. And I think a lot of times people will tend to bring something up or say something, not to be offensive, but because it's what they know. Now, it doesn't necessarily excuse them. I mean, racists are mostly racist because that's what they know. They've never been willing to open their mind to anything else. You know, people who are sexist. They don't realize that they're being sexist most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people who are religious are going to just include that as a part of their normal conversation. So, yeah, I think it really depends upon what it is that was brought up, and I think that knee-jerk reaction that anything at all that's said about a religion, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Buddhism, Islam, ancient Greek mythology, I mean, any of it, I view it all on the same level because they're all stories. You know, and some stories just happen to be older than others. But I don't believe any differently because of that. So yeah, if it was something where it was happening all the time, there would be a call or a sit down with the teacher as soon as I could. All right.
I want to say thank you to Gavin for coming on again.
Thank you, Gavin.
It's always a pleasure. And
we're going to take a quick break.
Yes.
And when we come back, our regularly scheduled program with the one and only Tyler and Jerry. We'll be right
And
back.
then the annoying one.
We'll put him on for a second. Thank you, Gavin. All right, guys, welcome back. We have Scott back with us. Thank you,
No,
Scott.
wait. Where are we doing this from? Are we doing this from the beginning? Are we doing recaps of the show now?
Let's just go with it.
I don't know what.
Well, you'll know if you let me speak.
Sorry, go on.
Okay, so I'm going to start over. All right. We're back now. Thank you, Scott, for allowing us to have Gavin for a little bit so that we could have a discussion with him. It's always a pleasure having a discussion with your son. Oh, by the way, hi, Gavin.
Oh, hi, Gavin.
He could hear us because Scott's headset is turned up.
I turned it up, yeah.
He turns it up to 68. So when Gavin gets on and I start talking and I'm just
86.
talking in a normal voice, Gavin goes, "Oh, so loud." So, all right. So we want to. Scott has actually something that he wanted to talk about. Scott, did you want to talk about last week's episode?
I do want to talk about last week's episode.
I know because we're recording a couple days earlier than we usually record, again because one of us has a schedule conflict for a regular recording. So I haven't checked the YouTube comments or anything like that.
There have been quite
and
a few.
we don't have. Well, we have more views than we normally would.
Which is great.
By this
Thanks,
time.
everybody.
Hello, where did you go? All right, so Scott.
Well, no, I want to do the recap for last week.
Go ahead. I'm gonna look on my phone because
look on your phone. Good comments last week. Really good comments. We were talking about hypocrisy, and this kind of leads into what I want to talk about for a second.
So our good friend Headcase,
Yeah,
as usual, giving us some lengthy feedback there. Basically, hypocrites make me want to bang my head against a wall. I try and point it out whenever I see it. Rolls eyes at Scott.
I don't get that with that man. I asked him what that meant. He didn't tell me.
I think Jerry and I both got it. I could go on
Explain it to me, though.
I could go on for days about all the hypocrisy I see in the world around me. I will limit myself to just one example here. I think Jerry will agree with me on this one. Society's hypocrisy against cannabis, marijuana. Drugs are a part of our everyday lives. Alcohol, aspirin, caffeine, and the list goes on. Some make us healthy when we're sick, relax when we are stressed, or give us energy when we feel sluggish. Any of which too much of it is bad for you. And then he goes on to, speak all of the positives of cannabis. But so yeah, good show this week, guys. Last week was a hard act to follow, which I totally agree. Still coming off the episode with Stephanie was absolutely fantastic. So, and then Jerry got into a little discussion with D about the adopting a child thing, which was all straightened out in the comments. If you guys want to read through that, it was more of a misunderstanding of what Jerry said than anything else. So.
Yeah, I just didn't want Dee to think that I was being combative with her comment. I think again it was more of a misunderstanding, and that's why when I asked for her to post the time, it was just like, because we talk about so much, and it's like, I could go back and watch the whole episode and not waste an hour, but like, I want to comment on it as quickly as I can. I don't want anybody to think that I'm ignoring them or whatever.
No,
so
and it totally made sense from reading through the replies, and it was just you said things one way and somebody took it a different way, and that happens.
Well,
but when you really did mean it in the way that you did, so
yeah. And D again, I wasn't. Yeah, I'm mad respect, for everything. I just didn't want to.
Yeah, absolutely. And D, thanks for watching and commenting on it too. But I also wanted to get to Eyes Wide Open. Left a comment that says, "We are all hypercritical at least once in our life. The trick is to identify it and then make corrections to your stance," which I thought was awesome, and Scott commented back on that as well. But I think that's a point of being being hypercritical. I think meant hypocritical, but
dang autocorrect.
Yeah, exactly. But I totally agree. I mean, I just want to give a quick example here, because I was actually just thinking about this again today. I went out for lunch, and I was sitting at a stoplight, and I made a left turn once the stoplight changed and turned green. And so I was turning from a 1-lane road left onto a 2-lane road. And as you learn in driver's ed, when you make a left turn onto a 2-lane road, the legal maneuver is to make a left turn into the farthest left lane, and then if you need to get over, you need to get into the left lane, start accelerating, and then put on your blinker and move over into the right lane. That is technically what is legal. Well, at this spot that I was in, because technically it's illegal to make that turn right into the right-hand lane.
Right.
And so I made that turn because the way that I was going, you have to get very quickly over into that right lane so that you can get into the right turn lane and make your turn. And so I made the turn, and I went directly into the right lane. And all of a sudden I thought to myself, man, I'm really being a hypocrite for this, because I can't tell you how many times, like, I'm following somebody in my car and they make the turn and they go into that right lane and I go, oh, you stupid, that's not what you're supposed to do. That's not a legal turn. I mean, even as something as stupid and mundane as something like that, I was just thinking to myself today, I'm a hypocrite.
Anyway.
So we had some technical difficulties, and now we're back. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to quickly talk about Beverlys comment, because everything went to crap right around there anyway.
Yeah.
So she just briefly went into the fact that she went to a Billy Graham crusade in Atlanta in the mid '60s when she was around 7. And he was huge in the Baptist community. I do think his son Franklin is having to deal with different issues than his father did because of modern times. Not that these issues didn't exist when I was a kid, but you just didn't talk about them for one thing, and we didn't have the means to find them out. Franklin Graham is what I call a militant Christian. So I think that I think that's good input to the discussion that we had, because that was kind of one of the things that we went into last week was, is he more of a product of his time, or would Billy Graham be as radical as Franklin is if he was put in this time? So, but yeah, so and then just a couple of follow-ups in there too. I heart you guys with the little bracket and the 3. I do wish y'all had better lighting so we could see your handsome faces. Beverly, is there something I can do to improve my lighting here? Because
your lighting is always perfect.
I'm doing everything that I can, but...
And she's under the assumption that I'm actually handsome. I don't know.
Oh,
And I have
Jerry.
the best lighting of the 3 of us.
Oh,
so
I meant to
it's
say
even
she's
better.
under the assumption that Scott's actually handsome. Did I
Right.
say...
Right. Well, that brings us to her other comment that says that, not a fan of the hookah vaping smoke screen effect. I'm thinking you should have to choose between the smoke screen or the disco lighting. Winky face. Finally, and actually I didn't have a chance to look this up, but at 1:15 and 12, did someone have gas? LOL.
I think I did.
We're going to have to go back and look at that. But anyway,
wow.
Beverly, thank you so much for watching and taking the time out to comment. And it was... Sorry, Scott, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to say I thought it was a really good episode following an absolutely fantastic episode we had the week before. It was really hard to follow up our conversation with Stephanie. But I thought it was a good topic. We got very involved in the discussion of it, and it kind of led on through this week, and now Scott has some more to say about hypocrisy. And
I do, but before I want to do that, I want to comment on Beverly's dedication to this little fun thing that we do every week called Positively Godless, is that she has commented on multiple episodes that I didn't realize that she has commented on. She has watched so many episodes. I'm not sure what she's up to yet. She may have gone through them all at this point. If she has, I'm sorry, or I'm not sorry. I just thank you so much for catching up with us and watching this grow into this little show that we have. So that's all I can say is just thank you, Beverly, for loving our dialogue.
would you go so far as to say a community
Maybe
of like-minded people?
Yeah. I do want to do a little recap myself on hypocrisy, and something has bugged me this last week, and it has to do with just the I'm going to call it camouflaged hate speech. And what I mean by that is the camouflage of love. I'm going to camouflage it with love, even though I mean hate. The Supreme Court ruling regarding gay marriage. There is a radio host who we may or may not have had on, who's been spewing vile about this on his show here in Minneapolis. To the point I am completely disgusted. Where he's basically is saying in not so many words that people like Jerry, sorry, don't mean to out you, Jerry, that they don't have, that people, and I'm going to use this in a very, very loose term, people like you don't deserve rights, don't deserve to be married. And I listened to his show
Because
today.
I have blue eyes?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And he even went on a show today saying that, oh, Minneapolis, where me and Tyler live, and Jerry's address is 19. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't know his address. But no, I mean, Tyler and I live in Minneapolis, where he went on a show today and complained about, oh my gosh, Minneapolis has got a gay radio station that plays music like Madonna and Katy Perry. Does that make it gay? You know, I just this hate crap that goes on. It's just It just gets me fuming. So, in a way, I'm kind of done with him. In a way, I'm not, because I need his material for show prep every once in a while. I've had it. I've had it with this whole, I'm a Christian, I love you, my best friend's gay, but he doesn't deserve rights. That's the hypocrisy that we talked about last week, and it just gets me going. Any of you want to kind of chime in on that, and then I'll talk about one other little thing after you guys chime in on it?
On your disdain for the radio host, or can I talk about that radio station?
You can talk about both, actually,
Okay.
because I'm fuming on both accounts. Why do we have to identify each other?
No, I'm not talking. I don't want to talk about him or his radio station. I want to talk about this new radio station that you sent us the article for.
Yeah, for here in Minneapolis, and we'll try to link it if we can. Tyler, love you.
New 96.7 Pride Radio is nation's first GLBT-oriented FM channel. First of all, it's LGBT, not GLBT. So, Mr. Will Aschenmacher, let's get it right. Second, I want to read a little bit of the article. The Twin Cities radio dial just got a little more diverse. 96.7 Pride Radio launched June 11th at 5 p.m. iHeartMedia described it as the first FM radio station in the country with programming devoted to gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgendered, and allied community. The station launched with 24 hours of Madonna tracks and will follow it with 2 weeks free of commercials. According to a news release from iHeartMedia, 96.7's track list will focus on dance remixes of pop hits by artists like Katy Perry and Sam Smith. It will also feature community news and entertainment shows. What the F? This radio station, first of all, 24 hours of Madonna? Like, what are you talking about? I love Madonna. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Madonna, I love Madonna. I think she's an amazing artist. I haven't really followed her career from the beginning, but I'm very familiar with her music. I have pretty much every single album she's released since the Immaculate Collection. She never ceases to amaze me with her collection of music, and she's original and over the top, but come on. She is not the end-all be-all of gay
anthems?
culture.
Gay anthems?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, Sam Smith, he's gay. I'm not outing Sam Smith. I'm pretty sure he's outed himself. His album, his very successful album, was written because of a breakup he had with his last boyfriend. So it's one thing if you want to make a radio station dedicated to the LGBT community that plays music by gay artists such as Sam Smith, maybe even Melissa Etheridge, even like other artists that are like put them in but 24 hours of them don't perpetuate the stereotype. Don't do it.
Jerry, can I ask,
Yes.
would it made any difference if it had been Mariah instead?
No, because what it's don't get me wrong, I would love a 24-hour Mariah Carey radio station, but I don't need it because I have all of her studio recordings on my phone and it's with me everywhere I go. But why are we perpetuating this? To me, I feel like it's perpetuating the stereotype. Now, I can't listen to this FM radio station unless it's online somewhere, and I can't hear the content of what. But starting a radio station with 24 hours of music by Madonna is not, to me, a good step in the right direction to get the word out or to help the LGBT community. I think it's only going to hurt us.
GLBT.
LGBT.
No. Stop right there. Both of you stop right there because I have a question. Because
Yeah.
I remember way back in the day, it was the GLBT community. Why has it changed? Why is the
I think it was
LGBT?
ever the GLBT.
I remember it has been. And
LGBT just sounds better.
okay, because to me,
LGBT
GLBT sounds better.
No, LGBT rolls off the tongue. GLBT sounds like I'm like...
I just asked. Why does that matter?
it matters.
Anyway, go
But,
on.
like, stop. I mean, like, I mean, maybe you can listen to it and tell me what their content is, if they have content, or if it's just all puff pieces.
It's all puff.
You
It's
know,
all
like-
music because when I tuned into it because I needed a break from somebody is in an AM station that was spouting off hate. I'm not going to mention names. So I listened to it, and it's a music station. It's just remixes. That's all
Right,
it is.
Like, but they call it like 96.7 good remix music?
So you have a problem with it being basically calling it Pride music or the Pride station or whatever they're calling it.
Because I feel like they're only going to perpetuate the stereotype by playing 24 hours of Madonna to start the radio station, and it's just that there's so much more behind the community and our allies and this and that. So if they're only playing a remix of a song by an artist because that's what they think gay music is, then
It's
they
just
need
dancing 24/7.
They shouldn't start. They should just
So-
stop.
If you were the program director of this said station, what would your station be?
If I was going to promote a radio station as LGBT, first of all, I would not open it up with 24 hours of Madonna. I would open it up with 12 hours of Julie Garland and 12 hours of Julie Andrews. I'm kidding. It was a joke. But I would. It would be. The thing is, it's hard because we already have a radio station like that. Not everybody can get it because it's on satellite radio, but we already have a radio station that is putting the word out for the community and is focused around the community. And they should. My programming wouldn't be music, dance remixes for the sake of, that's what they think is gay. I mean, obviously, I don't know. I can't say because I don't know, but I feel like it's perpetuating the stereotype. And that was my first thought. Like, don't do that. 12 hours or 24 hours of Madonna. Like, come on.
I mean, we have a radio station here called My Talk 107.1, who I'm a huge fan of. I'm not sure if you ever listened to it. That's a talk station, which is very, very good. Very, very good. But we're getting a little off topic. I'm not even sure we had a topic. So
No, it's fine. To answer the question about the letter order, The reason the letter order changed is because in the early years of the gay lib movement, it was mostly run by men, was mostly about men's issues, and represented men's concerns. Gay women, not surprisingly, were shut down and derailed when they pointed this out. So, as a sop to them, the letter order was changed from GLBT to LGBT by more politically correct organizations to show how lesbian concerns hadn't disappeared in the noise. As a result, that's considered the more correct acronym by Western media. And then they go on to say, although it might be nice to switch it to TBLG or BTLG every once in a while to put a new group's concern in the forefront. But anyway.
How come we can't
So-
just call it queer?
Interesting.
Oh,
That's
no,
interesting, though.
Yeah,
Tyler.
and Erica here, actually. Erica, who on this website, her title is Lesbian Icon, by the way, which is awesome. She says, in any case, I use LGBTQ, but I've seen just about every iteration of it. But in any case, you were both sort of right, Scott. It was that way before, but Jerry, it's mostly in Western civilization. Western, it's mostly been LGBT. But anyway,
Okay.
I like LGBT better, and that's just because that's what I want and that's what I should get.
Cool.
we'll leave it
one-
at that
One more thing.
until next week.
Next week we have a special guest.
We do?
Yep. We have Rand Campbell coming on next week. Who's going to be very, very interesting. Also, I'm going to do a recap. I'm doing a meet and greet with the show that actually inspired this show, which is a KISS podcast hosted by Michael Brandvold, Tommy Summers, and Mark Giacchini, called Three Sides of the Coin. We're going to have a little fun with kind of talking about our show. They mentioned us in their show last week. So if you go Google Three Sides of the Coin, if you're a KISS fan like I am,
Isn't it three sides of a coin?
three sides of the coin.
It's
Coin.
Okay, I thought it was so I just
Nope.
wanted to make sure people were looking for the right thing.
Nope. This is facebook.com/three sides of the coin, and you can get some episodes if you're a KISS fan. But I'm going to meet with them next Thursday. And yeah, we have a special guest next week. Rand Campbell's going to be on. Rand Campbell has been absent from YouTube for a while, but he's going to make his big debut of return on our show, apparently. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be another interesting special guest, and I'm going to use that term loosely, but we'll have some fun.
Interesting or the special or the guest? Which
here's my teaser for our fans out there. I forecast that one of our future special guests may not last very long.
But we're not talking about this one.
We don't know.
Oh,
It's not very positive.
I know. You see, here's the thing, man. I'm trying to be positive as much as I can, and I know I come across negative, but
in the effort
going-
in the effort of keeping this show positive, the guest may not last that long.
yeah,
Oh, okay, that's fine.
that's what I mean. Yeah.
All right, are you sure you're not going through womenopause?
I don't know if I am or not. I think maybe here's my thought. I think we all are going through menopause, all of us, because we've all have had that episode of women.
Right, we all have our hot button issues.
Yeah, we do.
Everybody.
No, I'm okay.
Are you? Look,
I'm okay.
Let me get Gavin down here to say goodbye. Cause are we done?
Yeah, we got it. I think we're done. I think we're done, guys. Thank you for watching.
No, we're not done yet. Just hold on. Thank you for watching Positively Godless. Look at the links below or in the screen or wherever they are. And talk to us. Bye. Stupid.
That was awful.
It's still recording. This show.
I have to close my door.
Please do. Oh,
Whoa! That was revealing.
there you go. Sit.
Who wears short shorts? I wear. You're muted.
Unmute myself.
I'm off the show right now
I'm
because I
just,
said so.
I'm
Off,
just in my
go,
underwear.
offset.
The reason I was asking if it was recording because I was going to come back and moon Scott, but
Good thing you didn't.
No, I don't think so.
Smashing.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. And but what you need to do, Jerry, again, have you done the 18
oh my, for Jesus age, this week I positively got
take the headset from him.
like awesome Godless this week?
Oh my goodness! I thought we were doing that with him.
How deaf is he that he needs to have that turned up all the way?
Oh God!
I'm
It's
in the
all-
shot.
Go get a shot and leave us alone.
Fans don't think I left.
The fans would
Gavin.
be glad if you left.
How?
Oh!
Oh.
What number was the headset on before you started turning it down?
86.
What number did you turn it down to?
16.
Oh my goodness!
Really?
Mhm.
How? Seriously,
Stop.
how deaf is he?
You need to
On a
visit
scale
the
of 1 to
doctor.
10, 10.
What did you say?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10.
Yeah, he needs to go to the ear doctor and the butt
First, you need to
doctor.
go to the ear doctor.
And the butt doctor.
Jerry needs to go to a lot of doctors.
He said that
Oh,
you
no.
need to go to.
Yeah, we heard.
You can't see who I'm pointing to.
can-
Can you?
No, we can't.
Hey, Jerry, you need to go to a lot of doctors.
Dad
We-
just said, Jerry, you need to go to a lot of doctors.
Yeah, but my doctors are nice. My doctors do
That
things.
one's so low.
Because I'm not deaf.
Like you.
No, wait, hold on.
So hot, Jerry.
80.
hot.
It's 100%. Much better.
Really?
Now I can hear you. God.
Dad can hear me if I talk like that.
Yeah.
I can hear me if I talk like this.
Gosh. I'm getting a chub listening to you whisper to me.
Jerry. Jerry.
Please don't.
Hey, Jerry.
Yes,
Jerry,
Dad.
do me a favor.
Yes.
Take your earbuds out real quick.
Okay.
What is wrong with you?
Damn it! God! What was that for? Jerks? Leave that swear in. Don't even edit that out. For
We're
your,
even now. We're even.
oh,
As soon as you told me to take my earbuds out, I knew what you were gonna do.
God, my earwax is vibrating. Oh, hurt me. Are we done now? Goodbye. I love you all, but you're all mad. Goodbye.